Hey everyone, welcome back to another Go Battle League video. I am making another Great League video today. Halloween Cup has been out for a few days now. Actually, I think it's been out for probably like 4 or 5 days now. And I still haven't found a good Halloween Cup team, so video will be coming out on it soon. I also realized I didn't bring a video out on Saturday. I got really busy this weekend, had a family reunion. Just didn't have the time to get around to recording, getting enough content, and being able to commentate. So sorry about that, y'all, but there will be one coming soon this week after, because this video is coming out today on Monday, and then I'll probably have a video like Wednesday or something, so stay tuned there. But anyways, very, very strong Great League team. This might be one of my favorite Great League teams I've ever run. It's going to be consisting of Skarmory, Defense, Deoxys, and Swampert. The Skarmory Swampert core covers itself so well. Obviously, on paper, you've got Skarmory to cover Swampert's grass weakness, and Swampert covers Skarmory's fire and electric weakness. So, very strong core. They complement each other very well. And then, honestly, that third Pokemon, you can run literally almost anything. You can run double fire, you can run double water, you can run a grass, you can run a psychic, you can run a ghost. Like, it really does not matter. There's a lot of flexibility with the team. But I just decided to run DD. I haven't had it for too long. Wanted to get some utility out of it, and it's also a really strong pick. Does well against the steel types. So, decided I'd run it. Anyways, picking up a very straightforward win against a double Mudboy team with Skarmory. I think that was popularized by Ox, maybe. But here we have a Pidgeot lead, and we have a Magnezone safe swap. So I actually switch into my soft counter here, which is DD. Like, originally I was like, oh, this is stupid, like, I wasn't thinking. But it depends on what he has in the back. Usually having an electric type, you're going to be covering a weakness to water. Or going to be strong against water, but Swampert has the ground typing too. So it could be pretty solid against something in the back. I am going to shield up this Feather Dance here and throw halfway through the turn. At this point, I will be able to get to 2 Rock Slides, and I'm going to go for the denial here. I do deny. Pretty safe to be able to deny since I threw halfway through the turn. And at this point, if my opponent tries to farm me down, I will get to a Psycho Boost, and my opponent will have to respect it and shield. And my opponent has, that's a Wobbuffet in the back. And, I mean, Swampert has a good matchup against this. DD would also have a good matchup against this, but Swampert would make the matchup go by a little bit quicker, so I can put my opponent out of his misery since I am up a shield. And Brave Bird kind of chunks, even though Wobbuffet is so tanky. So at this point, a full charged return should KO me from here, and it does. And at this point, literally 1 Hydro, and my opponent faints. So this is going to be GG. There's not much my opponent can do. I let the Mirror Coat go, and then I can just shield the Pidgeot. His only win con is me letting a Brave Bird go through, but I'm not going to let that happen. If it was a Feather Dance, Hydro would KO Pidgeot, Hydro would KO Wobbuffet, even with the debuff. So, GG. We have a Bastiodon lead. This is the worst lead you can possibly run into. I safe swap Defense Deoxys, and my opponent has Medicham. Safe to assume that he doesn't have Sableye in the back, because that would kind of wall off my DD. So, very curious as to what he could have in the back. Having a Bastiodon Medicham core, usually it is run with Sableye, but this team seems to have a different third mon. Anyways, I'm going to have to win switch here, so I let my opponent throw some power-up punches at me. So this almost obviously means that he's running Psychic, and since he's ramped up his attack twice, I'm going to shield this, and it's a Psychic, so I shield everything that I need to shield. I let everything go that I need to let go, and this is going to be enough to allow me to probably win switch here. I'm going to throw these 2 Psycho Boosts right away back to back. Get my opponent's second shield. He is also fighting for switch, and at this point I get really ballsy. I let another pup go through the Psycho Boost, and this will be enough to KO. I think I was counting here, so I knew he wasn't at a Psychic, but if by chance he wasn't a Psychic, like, I'd have been so screwed. So, let's see. Bastiodon. He has a Venusaur in the back, and this is GG. Even if the Bastiodon was able to farm down my Skarmory all the way, like, Swampert still does well. So, GG there. We have a Medicham lead and a Greedent safe swap. This is a little bit tough. Swampert can fare with Medicham pretty evenly. DD can also fare with Medicham pretty evenly. So I think DD actually beats Medi in all shield scenarios, but I'm just going to get some chip damage on the Greedent. I actually get a shield, and at this point I realize since he has Crunch, he's probably going to be throwing it, so I'm going to shield up the first one. And I think I can live 2 crunches. I want to believe. Yeah, I can live 2 crunches here, and what I'm going to do is just throw 1 counter to not let a fast move through, and go for the Rock Slide, and my opponent switches into Medicham. So I'm going to farm up a lot of energy here, throw a Psycho Boost. If my switch clock isn't up, I can either farm up a little bit more, or I can throw. And I throw the second Psycho Boost, which is, it's fine, it's going to get some damage. And then at this point I can, okay, I'm going to farm up to another Psycho Boost and then switch. I don't think any move would KO me from this range, and Ice Punch absolutely won't. And I think I can take an Ice Punch and then farm down with Skarm. And I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. And let's see what he has in the back. I think I remember, yeah, G-Fisk. And I am going to Brave Bird as this thing, because Rock Slide would KO me either way. And I'm going to try to build up to another one. And I get it, but he does catch on Greedent, so very nice counting by my opponent. And there's no point in undercharging, so my opponent is going to be able to farm down now. He should be at 100 energy. I'm going to come with Swampert, and since he kind of blindly threw a move, I'm going to call this bait that he's throwing a Rock Slide at me, and it is. So we're looking pretty good right now. If he baits me again, I have to fast move deny, but it's the Earthquake, so this game is over. There is absolutely nothing my opponent can do. I don't even care that he gets a move through, because at this point he's not at enough energy for an Earthquake. So this is going to be GG. This Hydro is going to go through and take the Stunfisk out for a very nice win. Also, I forgot to say, I went 9-1 with this team. Lots of success. It was a very fun team to run. But oh gosh, I think this is the game. 9-1 means I had to lose a game, right? So this is the game. Just gonna say it now. Also, I should win this game 9 out of 10 times. It's like y'all figure out what my opponent has in the back, but I should not lose this matchup with Skarman lead and then DD and Swampert in the back. And I should understand that Skarm beats Obstagoon in the 1, but it loses in the 2, so I should never expend a second shield to try and take out Obstagoon here. I'm going to come into DD and farm up. I can live a Night Slash, and then my opponent won't get to another move. But my opponent has a Gengar in the back, and I switch out of it. I should have just thrown the Psycho Boost and then dipped, but now if my opponent has Shadow Ball, I die. My opponent has Shadow Punch, and I do the dumbest thing I can do. I let him get to another Shadow Punch, and this is CMP. I should have only thrown 1 extra, and I die. And I just throw the Psycho Boost here out of anger. And, well, this KOs, but my opponent has another one. Oh, no. Oh, God. The game hurts. Hurts my soul. So I either stay in, throw the Psycho Boost, because I outpace Gengar, or I just don't overfarm on Swampert. But there was only one lose con, and I found the lose con. But you know, everyone makes mistakes. We don't all play perfect. We all choke very winnable games. So, but we do have a Hex Marowak, so I'm very glad I didn't safe swap into my DD. I'm just gonna take a Psycho Boost here, and again, I think this is another matchup where I win the one. So let's see here. My opponent does get a Hex through, which isn't great. And I think he's going to live this Sky Attack here. And he does, yeah. Let's see. I'm going to let this go. This is going to be a Bone Club, and it is. So I'm actually going to switch to Swampert. This could be very risky if he has a Grass type in the back. But I'm going to get ahead on energy, and he ends up having Azu. So he's double weak to Swampert in the back? Big question mark. But I'm just going to Sludge Wave. He lets it go, which is huge. And at this point, I think he's in a range where some Mud Shots and a Hydro Cannon will KO. I do let the Play Rough go through, which could be a mistake, but... Oh, why did he not switch into Shadow Swampert in the first place? I guess it is a tough situation to be in, but he has a Marowak Double Water, which is pretty interesting. Now let's see. I am up a shield. I have DD. So, I'm just going to let it go. And he's probably going to Hydro here. I don't think he had enough for a Sludge Wave. Now I could try and catch, but I'd just be getting fancy. So what I'm going to do is throw the Psycho Boost to KO. And then I'm going to switch into Skarmory to clear the debuff at some point. Yeah, I'm just going to clear the debuff right away. And at this point, Azu can't bank 2 moves, so I'm just going to farm him up to Psycho Boost range and just take the Psycho Boost and KO the Azu. Keep the shield too, which is nice, but I think Azu was at the move anyway. So let's see. Getting into the next match here, Swampert, another Shadow Swampert. So I think I lose the 1 here. I think I win the 2 and I win the 0. So we're both farming up close to 100 energy. Obviously my opponent has to shield this because you don't farm up all that energy and just let it die. Now, let's see. I'm gonna let the first Hydro go through. Maybe I do win the 1 against Shadow Swampert. Obviously, like, my opponent should have thrown. He's maybe at 2 moves right now. But he just goes down 2 shields to 0 and switches. But my opponent's like at or around 100 energy, so let's see. I shield the first one. He's thrown 3 air slashes, so I can throw 2 counters here. Oh wait, no, I'm not counting properly at all. I'm just gonna let the second Sky Attack go through. 1, 2, okay. I probably should have thrown 1 less counter so I don't take that air slash damage. But it's okay. This is going to KO, and he has G-Fisk. So, this match should be wraps. Because I'm up a shield, I have a hard counter. This Hydro is going to take it pretty low, and then, let's see. I mean, I could farm down with Mud Shots, but I would have to call the Earthquake here. Let's see. Am I going to shield? I am, and it is the Earthquake, so this is really nice. At this point, Swampert is going to come in and dump off some energy. So I'm going to throw right away. And, oh, I overfarm 1. But so does my opponent, and I either somehow win CMP or my opponent just farmed up to infinity, so gonna get this Hydro off as well. Maybe my opponent thought he had to get to a ton of moves because I still had 2 other Pokemon alive. Anyways, that's going to be a GG. And we're going to be getting into the next matchup here. Azu in the lead, very neutral. Probably the most neutral lead matchup in Great League. But I'm probably just going to go for 1 Sky Attack and then 1 Brave Bird. Because that will be enough to take out Azu. 2 Sky Attacks against an XL. Gets it pretty low, but it doesn't take it out all the way. So I think in the 0, it's like a 5/16 matchup rating or something. So you barely squeak it out. And I think that's when Azu throws 2 Ice Beams. But they threw the Hydro, so it's going to be allowing me to get to another move here. My opponent does just take it to the 1 shield and takes me out. And at this point, I'm just going to shield. And I think I've been counting. I'm just going to over-farm. Nope, I'm going to throw the Hydro right away. So kind of stupid on my end. I basically just give him switch and even shields and allow him to come into whatever he wants to. But he comes in with a Banette, Shadow Banette, a very old Caleb Pink Spice Pick. And this ends up being really, really nice for me because against the Skarmory Swampert core, you never know what's in the back. And I have DD in the back, so this ended up being perfect for me. And my opponent has a DD as well, and I'm fine with this. 1 Hydro Cannon will be taking the Banette out, so basically, even if my opponent takes me out here, I can just come in with Swampert and farm up enough to get to 2 Hydro Cannons, and then I'll be able to win the game. So my opponent has Thunderbolt, which is, I think it's worse in the mirror match. I think Rock Slide is actually what you want to have. But at this rate, I think I have enough for a Rock Slide and a Psycho Boost. So I'm going to Rock Slide. My opponent switches into Banette to catch the Psycho Boost. But I think this is going to get into like, yeah, it gets 1 HP and I'm just going to be able to Mud Shot down and then throw a Sludge Wave. So this is going to be taking out the DD. And it's going to be a GG. So I like the team. There's Azu, Banette, and DD. And now we have a Poliwrath lead, okay? So, what I could have done here is just shield up the first move. This is either a Dynamic or a Scald, and it's a Dynamic Punch. And then my opponent throws super quick. And I should have just let this go knowing it was an Ice Punch, and then it wouldn't be enough to KO. But I'd shield it, and then at this rate, I'm going to throw 2 Air Slashes and just take this Poliwrath out. If they want to shield, let's just throw another, but they let it go. So their Skarmory counter is Stunfisk, or G-Fisk, and at this point, if my opponent wants to get greedy and over-farm, I will be able to get to 2 Brave Birds. It does only 1 Air Slash through the second time. So what I could have done here is, if I threw a Sky Attack, it would have been CMP, which would have been very nice, but I'd rather not risk it and allow them to farm me all the way down. So I kind of pressure him to throw. And then at this point, I come into DD, and it ends up being the right call because Swampert has a better matchup against Azu because I don't have Thunderbolt on my DD. I'm going to let a Play Rough go through here. I'm going to bait with Hydro Cannon. Because they have 2 shields, they're likely to let this go. Or they're likely to shield, so they do. Now that we're on even shield, I will go for the Sludge Wave. And my opponent does shield again, so this is fine. I'm going to shield myself just to ensure that I can get to another Sludge Wave. But my opponent tries to catch just a little bit too early here. I probably throw the Psycho Boost a little bit too early, but I also don't want my opponent getting to an Earthquake, so ooh, this ended up being CMP. So very nice counting from me. I probably was, well, actually he throws Rock Slide. I think I was counting. But at this point, my opponent allows me to farm up to a Psycho Boost. And now this puts my opponent into Sludge Wave range. So Swampert went CMP against Azu, and there's going to be nothing my opponent can do. This is going to be GG. Also, no, that's a 1499 Azu. I was thinking it was 1459, but it's not. Boom, Sludge Wave coming through. It's going to take it out. Anyways, this is going to be the last battle here. If I win this, we secure the 5-0, and we go 9-1. If I lose, we go 8-2. Obviously, if you've been watching, though, you're already going to know what happens in this game. So another very neutral lead matchup against Azu. The Open Great League is absolutely dominated by Azu and Galarian Stunfisk, so this team doesn't fare too great with G-Fisk leads, but you can just safe swap DD. Hope they don't have a Sableye in the back. Azu you can fare pretty well with, though, and you have two good checks to G-Fist. Swampert kind of walls it, and then DD is pretty neutral, but you can fare pretty well against it. My opponent comes in with Swampert, and at this point I'm thinking you have Azu and Swampert, so this is an ABA type team, and you need an answer to grass. So I'm thinking my opponent's gonna have a Flyer in back, and if it's a Skarmory, I have Swampert for it. I think Swampert is a very, very soft counter to Skarmory. Otherwise, he could have like a Fire type. If he has a Fire type, obviously my Swampert is gonna want to face it. But anyways, I'm gonna store some energy on DD and come into my own Swampert. I will be able to outpace him to my first move, and at this point I get a phone call. Basically all that happens is we take it to the 0 shield, and yeah, so shield are down. My opponent catches on, it is Skarmory, so there's a full health Skarmory. Obviously there's no point in undercharging, and this is I think that's Peck, but it could be Steel Wing. I think it's Peck. You know what? No, I think that's Steel Wing. Yeah, not very effective against the Swampert. So my opponent has a Steel Wing Skarmory. With this team comp, there is zero reason to be running Steel Wing. Air Slash is going to be countering all the grass types. But anyways, I'm going to be able to Psycho Boost and take him out. But either way, Swampert would have been able to get to the second Hydro, and then if they Sky Attack me, I would have been able to farm down. So it's going to be GG for the 5-0. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sorry I've been lacking on the Halloween Cup content, but you can expect a video to be coming out later this week on the Halloween Cup.